good morning, or evening, or afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. So, have you ever feel like you are just like waiting, always waiting on something? Um, Anything that is positive thinking is what like I'm keen on positive thinking, keen on positive thinking. Like, oh my gosh, as long as you have a positive outlook or a positive mindset, everything's gonna be okay. Your dreams are gonna come true, and all this stuff, right? That's just not it. You need that positive mindset. You need action apply behind that. You need a goal or a plan, something like that. And don't let me overwhelm you, because when I took it all in, I was overwhelmed. And I'm like, oh, positive mindset. As long as I'm giving out positivity to my surroundings and feeding myself, then everything else will fall into place, right? No. Positive action. You have to have that. You have to have the action behind it. And that's something I was just like, oh, I'm good. Like, I would do just enough to get recognized and maybe seen or questioned or thought about, but not enough to follow through. I'll do just enough, and then be like, all right, I'm good. But is my earring broke? It sure is. Anyways, I'll do just enough. So what I have to get better about, and then like certain ideas that you have certain ideas about certain things that you want to bring to life, or breathe life into, and you want to keep everything so tight, so you don't want nobody else to steal it, you don't want nobody else to branch off of it and stuff of that nature. The ideas that you have, you really have to trust that person that you confide in. You really do, because you can't do it by yourself, and that's something I had to learn. I can't do this by myself. I need teams. I found out looking within myself that I'm a analytical thinker. I pay very close attention to detail, and that's what I do. That's my strong suit. That's what I can do. I can learn different things and maybe adapt to certain things, but my strong suit is the analytical thinker, and I pay very, very close to detail. Okay, I'm gonna be I'm very close researcher. I'm a researcher. I want to know every last little thing about this particular topic. You give me something, I'm gonna have the answers. I'm gonna have a solution. I'm gonna have another topic. I'm gonna have more questions, and then I'm gonna go back and do it again. And I'm gonna come back and I'm like, this is what we need to do. That's me. Okay. You may be a planner. You know what I mean? You may be the finances. You may be, and you need a team, because you can't do it by yourself. I cannot do it by myself, and that's something I had to learn. Okay, so my it's February 2017. So another thing that I did, and it just came to me, and I just kept writing. I'm a writer. I've been writing, I don't know how long. Okay, and mostly poetry or just random thoughts about certain things, but always played with the idea of being an author, but never really took it seriously. Like, I'll write it all down, but now I'm like, I need somebody to put this together for me. You know what I mean? Like, if I give you all this material, can you just edit and put it together, and then let me read it, and then then we'll do the whole thing. But I don't know where I was going with that. But all in all, I just felt like I needed to share some things to get some stuff off my chest. And I will be doing more of these. To each his own. And you'll figure it out. But this is I have to do better. I have to do better, because I find myself with different jobs all the time because I get so bored. I get so bored. Like, this is not what I want to do. This is not what I want to do. I don't want to do this, but I'll work it out. You know? Like, and I'm one of the people that always, like, spiritual, and I really don't like to, like, I read scriptures and stuff like that and daily devotions, and I also read, like, horoscope or my astrology and stuff like that. And my astrology has been on point lately, and I don't want to get too wrapped up in that, because then you're like, oh, it says this, and this is what's going on in my life, so maybe if I do this, and you're living your life to please astrology that may be true or not, instead of living your life like you're like going back to waiting, like you wake up, like I used to wake up, and I still do it. Wake up and I'll read, like I'll listen to certain people. I need to get back on that. I'll listen to certain people, or when I go to sleep, affirmations and stuff like that. So when I wake up, I listen to certain people, or I read the scripture, or I read a daily devotion, or read my astrology, and I'll be like, well, it says this, so, but that's not going on in my life, so I don't know, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I think that's when I get irritated, when it starts falling off, when at some point I'm like, oh my gosh, what does it say next week, or what does it say this week, so, but just waiting to get the okay from the universe, that's not okay. That's not the way that's not okay. Or waiting for someone to come to their senses about how they feel about you, that's not okay, but that's like a little teeter-totter. And what I mean by that is, if you're not completely honest with that person, how do you expect them to be completely honest with you? Now, if you're completely honest, there's different love languages, and there's different, I don't know, just different stuff, So, that's that. But so we're just waiting, just always waiting. We're doing just enough. That's my issue, just doing just enough, and then I'll be like, all right, I'm done. It's not working out in my favor, but if I just pushed just another half an inch, the doors that would have flew open, the countless opportunities that I probably have passed up because I was like, well, I feel like I did enough, so I'm not doing enough. And that's nothing but not being humble and egotistic, and just be like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? But you're not really hurting nobody but yourself. This opportunity is for you, and there's somebody behind you that's hungry enough to do that half an inch and more. So there's stop waiting. I don't know what's going on in your life. I'm not sure what challenge you're facing, but I say anything at the but is bullshit, so I'm not going to use that. And if I play this back, I hope I didn't say but, because everything that I'm saying right now is truthful, 100%. And real stuff that's going on in my life. So I hope you're able to relate. And but no, but so anyways, however, you have to make that choice, because I have been doing enough self-reflection on myself, and I'm like, wow, because I am very introverted person, so I overthink everything, okay? I just said I'm an analytical thinker, okay? That goes in my business, and that goes in personal. That can be good, and that can be bad. However, but it is, however you look at it and choose to embrace your strength, that can also be your weakness, is how you determine the outcome, the solution. So be very careful about that. Some people will look at you like it's a curse or something like that, but you have to, not even a curse, just, I don't know, annoyed or whatever, don't let nobody make you feel that way. It will happen, okay? It's gonna happen, but no buts. You'll be okay. So just do a little bit more. I'm gonna promise I'm gonna do a little bit more. I'm gonna promise I'm gonna do a little bit more. And I have, you know, when you have great ideas, and I listen a lot to Les Brown, and he'd be like, if you have all these great ideas, and if you just follow through on one great idea, just imagine, you can't even imagine the possibilities that will come to you, because your mind, my mind, and your mind may be so limited to the measures that this can really reach, the levels that it can really reach. And because of the naysayers or the voices in your head, like, I talk to myself all the time, okay? Sometimes I hear voices and I'll be like, am I tripping? Like, I would turn off the radio, I turn on the TV, like, yeah, you have to tell those voices to shut up. You know, you do. I thought I was crazy. But, yes, you have to tell those voices to shut up. And you have to, and to change. Change is hard. Change is hard. It's a challenge. It's a, baby. It's a challenge. But it's worth it. Bumps, bruises, burns, friends, no friends, backstabbers, smile in your face and talk about you behind your back. You'll experience all that. And you experience it now. So it's nothing. But it's different when it's money involved, quite a bit of money, or your reputation and stuff like that. But that's what happens. Look at the greats. Something happened, or has happened, or is happening, or continuously happening, and you know, and they live through it, and they grow through it, and they may make that mistake again and again and again and again until they, you know. But this is a sign of them trying, or trying and falling, and trying and failing, and then they finally hit their head enough times and fell on their butt enough times to they're like, wait. You know, and that's just the way it goes. You try until it works for you. If you take a break, don't quit. I've took many breaks. I have let people talk me out of my passion. And then if I don't know my passion and confuse me about my passion or my walk of life and make me seem that it's wrong, and I'll be like, well, then you're questioning yourself. And you're just like, how did I get here? It has such a strong bond. But that is, some people are put in your life to open up your eyes about certain things too. And how you perceive that information is all up to you. So I'm here to tell you and encourage you to push a little harder. Stretch a little wider. Run a little faster. Walk a little faster. Jog a little faster. Crawl a little faster. Wherever you are in your walk of life, in your walk of faith, in your walk of business, in your walk of entrepreneurship, in your walk of network marketing, in your walk of relationship, in your walk of yourself, your self-reflection, in your walk wherever you are. Opening your own business, buying your own new house or whatever, just, I believe that can apply to everything because it just came to my mind, so I'm going to speak it. You can do it. Just stretch yourself a little bit wider, but mainly to my entrepreneurs and people who's trying to make a difference in their life. However, and you're facing a really big challenge or opportunity or something like that, just follow your heart. Like, I have ideas, and I reach out to the people and be like, hey, I want to bring this idea to life, and we're gonna set up a date, and we're gonna meet at this time, and we're gonna meet here, and we're gonna do that, and I'll let that date go right by. You know how far I probably set my plans back? Do you know? And then wonder why I didn't do it. Why didn't I do that? This is something I really want to do. And I feel like I did enough. I feel like I did enough to get this opportunity, for this to be a sealed deal. You know, signed, sealed, and delivered. I feel like I did enough, but I didn't. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. That's too much work. That's what it is. People be like, oh, I want to do this, and they do just enough work just to get the recognition, but not the you know what I mean? That ain't right. Not on their part, on your part, on my part. I'll just be like, oh, lazy. You think about it and you play in detail. You did all that critical thinking, and you wrote down all the stuff, and you plan this stuff out, and just for you to be like, or me, just for me to be like, nope, I ain't doing it. Not anymore, honey. I can't. So I follow through because I get bored at my jobs, and if I put in the work to my own business as an entrepreneur, I'm gonna have to work that business, because I can't just quit that business, because it's my career, it's my passion. You can't just quit it when I have no I don't have any dependents, or it's just me. You know what I mean? So I'll be like, I can get another job. You know what I mean? But then it comes back to consistency and persistence. And that's where you fall short. And you just be like, after getting another job so many times and putting them people on your resume, and you're like, oh, yep, you can call them, and they be like, nah. She has a great personality, great drive. She's a super sweetheart, but she's not consistent. What do you think that's going to mean? X. Ball that application right on up and throw it in the trash. It's not a good look. So you might as well take yourself seriously. I'm taking myself seriously. 2017, I'm taking myself seriously. 2017 started off a little rocky, but 5 minutes of a bad experience, a challenging experience, does not have to be a lifetime of sadness and sorrow, depression, and all this other stuff, and making empty promises, or just do you, but do it smart. Okay, do it smart. I'm still young. I'm not gonna tell you my age. I'm still young. I'm gonna do it again. I'm going to start it again. I'm 28. I'll be 29. So I'm at that age of my life. Like, all right, girl, get it together. Some people get it early, and some people get it late. Either way, it's never too late. Some people get it earlier in their life, and some people get it in their more seasoned or wiser period in their life. Either way, you're going to get it. As long as you're persistent and consistent, you're going to get it. But during that time, one thing you also have to do during this time, get out of your comfort zone. Give willingly. Be generous with your giving. I'm not just talking about money. It can be time. It can just be a listening ear. It can be cook. However, just give yourself, because it makes you feel good. I have a hard time. Like, I can give myself to my family all day long. But when it comes to a stranger, I'm like, you know what I mean? That's ugly. That's so ugly, So this is the uncut, raw Ray Shonda Saunders. Ray Shonda Saunders. Ooh, y'all listen. So, I love you. And one thing I did, and I'm going to let you go. One thing I did was wrote in the future. Wrote past tense. I can't remember. I don't have it with me. But it's smart. It's smart. I see a shrink, and she told me to do it. And I was like, a therapist. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try it. Because before Mary Jane was even doing it, I used to put postage on my mirrors of what I'm going to do. but it's wording. It's use your wording very carefully, because one of the things I was like, I put on there, let's give for example, I I will improve my consistency or something like that. And she was like, write in the past tense as, I am so happy I improved my work ethic. I'm so happy that I remain consistent, and it helped me later, now. Like, I can remember back then, I was at this age and I just could not do this because I could not, whatever. But I'm so happy that I learned in the year 2017, I saved this much money at the end of the year. Like, that was the largest amount of money that I ever saved in my life, in my adulthood. I'm so happy I did that. And it got me here today because, that's how I wrote. And I wrote, and it was probably like 4 or 5 pages. And I just kept writing. I take a break and I look and think, and then I write everything down again. Write some more. And it just kept getting longer and longer. And it's something, I went back to reread it. And I need to edit and stuff like that. But that's a great idea for you to do too. You have to do the work. No one's going to do it for you. I was blessed as a child growing up, and I can think back like, oh my gosh, I was, the middle child syndrome. You think the oldest have everything, you think the youngest have everything, and you have nothing. And as an adult, looking back on how I grew up great. I grew up great, I grew up awesome. And even now as an adult, I'm very blessed. I'm not going to say spoiled, but I'm very blessed. And you appreciate the small things in life. So I'm going to get off. I've been talking for 22 minutes, and I hope that this has helped you and helped me. You have no idea. And hopefully you'll see me more often than not. And be blessed. Have a good night. Peace and love.